The time has come for my people to go.
I'm not a queen, I'm a servant of the people. I'm not a king, I'm a servant of the people. It's what the people demand, and we're gonna keep fighting till we get that land. I'm not a queen, I'm a servant of the people. I'm not a king, I'm a servant of the people. It's time to rise to get what we want, we got to organize.
Hey everyone, welcome to another episode of the Pantsula Podcast, brought to you by the All African People's Revolutionary Party. The All African People's Revolutionary Party, we were founded in 1968 by the late great Kwame Ture via the Handbook of Revolutionary Warfare. And those of you who don't know us at all or know our objective is Pan-Africanism, which we identify as the total liberation and unification of Africa under scientific socialism, which is according to the Fifth Pan-African Congress. So, yeah, as you can see here, I don't know if some of you guys may have seen our previous episodes. We've had Bomani Shakur on here. He's back again for representing the Republic of New Afrika. Today, we're going to actually talk about the event that they're holding called New Afrikan Nation Day. Should be taking place in March. But before we get into that, I want to go ahead and pass it off to my comrade Jesse, who's also on this call, who's going to commemorate our ancestors like we do in every episode.
Blessings, everybody. Today we're going to honor two ancestors. First being Eslanda Robeson, who was an anthropologist, author, actress, and civil rights activist. She was the wife and business manager of singer and actor Paul Robeson. In 1941, Eslanda and Paul joined other influential Black people to fund the Council of African Affairs. As a member, Eslanda spoke often and articulately in critique of Western colonial powers for subjugating people of color for political and economic gain. Both became targets during the McCarthy days, with their passports being revoked. Robeson's career came to a standstill. Their income dropped dramatically. Fighting for the decolonialization of Africa and Asia, she continued to work for the Council of African Affairs and to write as the UN correspondent for the New World Review, a pro-Soviet magazine. The second ancestor we're honoring today is Samory Toure. He was a Muslim military strategist and the founder and leader of the Wassoulou Empire, an Islamic empire that was in present-day North and Southeastern Guinea and included part of northeastern Sierra Leone, part of Mali, part of northern Cote, and part of the southern Burkina Faso. Samory Toure was a deeply religious Muslim. He resisted French colonial rule in West Africa from 1882 until his capture until 1898. Samory Toure was the great-grandfather of Guinea's first president, one of our ideological heroes, Sekou Toure.
Appreciate you, Jesse. So yeah, just as a reintroduction for people who don't know Bomani.
Free the land. My name is Minister Bomani Ihiru Jahad Shakir, the Minister of Information for the Provisional Government of New Africa. I'm also the co-host of the Provisional Government of New Africa radio show. We actually airs Monday. We had every third Monday of the month. And on this broadcast for the February 21st, there's also the commemoration of the assassination of Malcolm X, who was the father of New Africa. We're going to be interviewing and talking with the New Afrikan Nation Day Planning Committee about New Afrikan Nation Day, which we're talking about today in regard to the propagation tool. I'm also the host of the Georgia University Radio, Chief of Personnel, Georgia University, also the active spokesperson of Georgia University. I'm also a part of a local cadre, a local New African formation, and my New African population district, the Dr. John Clark Town, which is Mission Army, Columbus, Georgia, the People Party for Independence, which is we find out on 5 principles, which is defense, education, economic education, politics, and culture, which is deep C. And we understand we must all control operate every environment community we exist in, land based and independence. And I'm also a member of Eman Jamil Action Network, Eman Jamil, former of H. Robert Brown as a political prisoner. And our whole aspect is spreading awareness of Eman Jamil Alameen as a political prisoner, also working on his liberation, also making it be known that we have political prisoners in America. And I'm also a member of Black August Organizing Committee. Black August is a revolutionary month commemorated in the month of August every year. They commemorate the fallen comrade that fell in the prison in California, as well as commemorate their contribution and sacrifice to the Black Liberation Movement, the New African Independent Movement, as well as the overall Pan-African International Movement worldwide in regards to our struggle and liberation by defending, protecting, educating, and organizing and creating institutions that they're going to sustain them in regards to our people needs. So that's basically a little bit about who I am and what I do. I'm overall a New African propagandist. I'm actually a firm believer in education for liberation. So as much as possible, every opportunity I get, I always control the narrative. And I control the narrative by putting our people first in our narrative so people can have a choice and a chance to see that we had did great things. We had accomplished many accomplishments, and we are great and magnificent and glorious people, and we are supremely intelligent, supremely strong, wise, and beautiful people. So that's basically what I'm about and what I do. And again, I'm glad, I'm great. I'm most appreciative of being here on this broadcast. I applaud you, brother, well as sisters, in your efforts in regard to spreading information via social media, via YouTube, as well as in our communities and nations. Peace.
Thank you, brother. Appreciate it.
Brother. Absolutely.
Yeah. So I guess if you want to get into, I know it's a 3-day event that you guys are doing for New Afrikan Nation Day. Like, what is going to entail in those 3 days? Who are some of the attendees or speakers, and maybe the origins of the event?
Okay. Well, the New Afrikan Nation Day is actually a commemoration for the founder of the Provisional Republic of Afrika. Well, the Provisional Republic of Afrika was founded on a weekend of March the 31st, the 30th, and the 30th, March 29th, 30th, and 31st in Detroit, Michigan. During that weekend occurred a two-day national government conference regarding building the government, which is the 30th and 31st. Whereas on that Friday, 30th, people were building locally at Twin Ground Hotel, which is a New African hotel. They were building locally about the meeting in regard to what was going on. So New Afrikan Nation Day is commemoration of that same weekend that they were building on, that built our nation. On December, part itself on March the 31st, 1968. The Declaration of Independence was signed. The Declaration of Independence was signed by Queen Mother Moore, along with 199 other signers were made 200 signees or signatories. It established our independence in the Republic of New Afrika. So every year since '69, which was the first Nation Day, which we called Black Nation Day at that time, we have been commemorating the final Provisional Government every year in regards to a particular weekend. And we always choose the weekend that close to the 31st. So that means that every Nation Day celebration and commemoration is not going to be on exactly the 31st, but we try to make it close as possible. So this year it's going to be on March the 25th through the 27th. Now, historically, the first Black Nation Day occurred in what was taking place on March 29th, 1969, in New Bethel Church in Detroit, Michigan, the church of Robert Franklin, the father of Aretha Franklin. And doing this aspect of commemorate the founding of the Black Nation in 1969, the nation was attacked. The nation was attacked by the state, the FBI, the CIA, the government, the pigs, police, so forth and so on. They attacked the nation, right? And during this attack, the nation, it was like 800 rounds being released into the church, you know, and during this attack, I think of 800 or 400. You know what I'm saying? I'm not sure right now, particularly. You know, so I'm kind of tongue-tied, brain tied a little bit. But during this attack in the church, wasn't no casualties in regard to our people, but one of the pigs were lost. One of the pigs were lost and returned to the Essence, and a couple of them were injured. So they locked like over 100 some people up in the county in the county jail in Detroit for a couple of hours. But unfortunately for them, you know what I'm saying, we released, you know what I'm saying, due to the call by Judge Crockett, released a lot of our people, right? And some of the people that was in that church during that time were people like Queen Mother Moore, Dr. Betty Shabazz, Dr. Amari Abadeli, Guy Abadeli, you know, General Ways Chewy, Mama Dar Abakari, you know, different people like that were actually influential in our movement, influencing our founding of the Provisional Republic of Afrika as well. And also different organizations like the Black Guard, Round Revolution Action Movement, the Afro Set Nationalist Party, the Black Man Party out of Detroit, the nation of Libya, you know what I'm saying, out of Ohio, you know what I'm saying, different people from the E5 coast, different people from the Moorish Science, from the other institutions and spirituality foundation organizations as well that were actually involved in the New African Nation they founded. That were actually the first attack that occurred within our nation, which basically was a victory for us, right? You know, and then like I said, every year after that, we have a commemorate to find our nation with New African Nation Day. But it didn't come to New African Nation Day until 1983 when they had to return the first national Black Nation Day conference, which actually became New African Nation Day was in 1983, and that gave birth to New African Nation Day as a particular term of ideology, you know, a particular term of events in regards to unifying all the people in general. You know, and the first thing I want you to know is that New African Nation is not just about people in New African independent movement. It's about all people worldwide in regards to African people, African descent. So it doesn't matter if you're Black, you're part of the Black Liberation Movement, you're part of the Pan-African Movement, or whatever you're part of the argument, whatever you're part of, you can attend long as you got African descendancy within your bloodline. Because as long as your people are African worldwide, it's a commemoration of people African worldwide. Because historically, you know, a lot of our foundation came from a lot of the ancestors that were involved in a lot of Pan-African ideology, such as Martin Garvey, Kwame Ture, so forth and so on, you know, in regard to certain things, in regard to who we are, especially the Provisional Government aspect, which came from Garvey, what Kwame Ture had a Provisional Government, you know. A lot of those standpoints came from people that were interested in African nationalism worldwide universally, right? Even a lot of foundations called revolutionary Black nationalism and Pan-African nationalism and scientific socialism, all the other aspects of things, you know, relate to who we are right now and New African revolutionary nationalism, which is a combination of certain things, giving our culture identity and New African people that is certified by international law. We had the right to self-determination, we had the right to nationality, we had the right, you know, to establish our own nation, our own government, we had the right to independence, you know, which is international and worldwide. You know, and then I'm just going to tell you a little bit about the Affirmation that's taking place. We have just a tentative schedule I'm about to read, right? I'm also a part of the New African Nation Planning Committee. The African Nation Planning Committee, we are the ones who get together, have meetings, and organize exactly what days we're going to have Nation Day, the time, the particular activities, the propagation getting involved with the flyers, the videos, the leaflets, the pamphlets, so forth and so on, in regards to propagate New African Nation Day. You know, okay, so by being part of the planning committee, I'm privy to the tentative schedule. This is the tentative schedule right now for Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, right? Okay, on Friday, and it's gonna take place in Birmingham, Alabama. First off, it's gonna take place in Birmingham, Alabama. Okay, at the Crescent Culture Community Center. That's where it's taking place at. Okay, firstly, during the day on Friday, it's 10 o'clock a.m. We're gonna have a Ujima. We have Ujima meet and greet, right? With the people in Birmingham. We're gonna meet with all the local New Africans there, regardless of what their particular beliefs, concepts, ideas. We're gonna meet them, right? From 10 to 1. You know, and during that time, it based as an introduction to the Provisional Republic of Afrika, who we are, what we got going on, what we're doing, and basically different. It's gonna be different sections geared toward citizenship, reparations, community development, study groups, and just different activities that we're doing locally and what they're doing nationwide in regard to our people. And during that time, also, it's gonna be an opportunity for people to sign up and register for Nation Day at that time. If they're gonna register for Nation Day via Zoom, or they're gonna register for Nation Day via in the physical, which is gonna take place in Birmingham. After that takes place, we're gonna break for lunch, and possibly before that, and possibly before lunch, we might possibly be doing a tour of Birmingham in regards to looking at the New African history and accomplishing achievement what was going on in Birmingham, doing the civil rights movement, the Black Liberation Movement, Pan-African movement, so forth and so on, right? Then after we return for lunch, after 3:30, every time for lunch, we're gonna be having the PRSC meeting, which is the People Revolutionary City Council, which is chaired by the president and consists of all the ministries and everybody in the cabinet, from the treasurer, the vice president, the president, and all the ministries, right? Then after the PRC meeting, we had the PCC meeting, the People's City Council meeting. The People's City Council meeting is geared toward, it's chaired by the People's City Council chair, and they're geared toward talking to the people, you know, and the people, the high form of government within our nation. So we talk to the people in regard to updating them about different activities we're doing within the government, different business, so the people can actually see and hear what exactly we're doing in the government in regards to different works activities geared toward a certain program, certain institutions, certain efforts in regards to capture citizens. You know what I'm saying? Effort geared toward building our national sphere, building our national standpoint in regards to national recognition, so forth and so on, right? That's on Friday. And then on Saturday, we're going to start early, 8 o'clock p.m. 8 o'clock p.m., right? We're going to do the check-in, and people are going to be able to register again for Nation Day if they haven't done so. Okay, then at 9 o'clock, we had the Ancestor Hour. During the Ancestor Hour, you can remember some of the ancestors before us that are from different walks of life, our African ancestors and their couple of achievements. In regards to libation, music, talking the African language, and so forth and so on, right? Then after that, we're going to do the welcome and the setting of attention. Now, we're going to welcome everybody to New African Nation Day. Then to formally start everything, we're going to cite the New African Creed. New African Creed was a document that we stand on regards to. It basically tell you what a New African really is, what our duties are, our goals, accomplishments, achievements are, what a New African is, a New African Creed. And then we're going to set the purpose of everything. And after that, we're going to have the history of the Provisional Government and the elders speak. In the history of the Provisional Government, we have various elders from the New African Independent Movement that have been directly involved in the Provisional Government and directly involved in the New African Independent Movement, speak about their perspective in regards to who they are, what they on scene, their experience with the government, their experience in the New African Independent Movement, their overall sharing thoughts and inspiration. And then after that, we're going to do the New African Family, which turned the foundation of a nation. And we'll talk about the New African family, the importance of the New African family, the significance of the New African family, and why a New African family is the foundation of building a New African nation. You know, and that event gonna be it's gonna actually be discussed by our co-ministers of education, which is Bob Ogio, Mama and Cody Ogio, as well as our president Samory. You know, some of the elders are going to be speaking. We'll go back to some of the elders going to be speaking before that. Some of the elders are going to be speaking like Bob Rashid, who was the 99 Sign Declaration Independent, who's also a district rep and district judge in Miami at a particular time right now. Then after that, we're going to go to the lunch break, okay, which is based on 131, 234, 245. At the lunch break, we're going to have the New African Citizenship and Election. We're going to be chaired by the New African Election Commissioner, Bob Lucata. You're going to talk about citizenship, New African elections, and things of that nature in regard to building our nation. And after that, we're going to do a survival training. It's going to be a physical demonstration. This demonstration, this demonstration is not going to be, it's not going to be on Zoom. It's not going to be on Zoom, but it will be a physical aspect, you know what I'm saying, for the people that actually attend it. It's not going to be on Zoom. And they're going to be administrated by the Ministry of Defense. So the activity is not known. Okay. Then after that, we'll have a presentation of the Watoto. Watoto are the children. The children do a presentation regarding New African Nation Day. It might be some music playing, some poetry, some reciting of thoughts, ideas, and concepts. Then that was 6:30 to 7:30. After that, after the Watoto, we had the New African Nation Day closing remarks. After the closing remarks, we're gonna open it for the New African Nation Day in Goma. And Goma is a celebration in regard to music, dance. It bases a part. By doing this in Goma, we're gonna have different people sharing their talent in regards to poetry, music, singing, African dance, art, and etc. Right? You know, it's gonna be for local citizens and national citizens. Everybody gonna be involved doing certain things. There's a lot of people that are gonna be participating. They're gonna be singing, dancing, rapping, you know, different things, gonna be different activities. And it's from 8:15 until it doesn't have no time. It's going into it. It could possibly all night. You know how Africans be when they party. Okay. The next day we come back, which is on Sunday. We come in at 9:00, and then that's when we cite the creed. We're gonna cite New African Creed. Then after citing New African Creed, we're gonna go on to the reenactment of Declaration of Independence. So we mean that we're gonna do like basically like a reenactment or a play, so to speak, in regards to the people who were there when they signed Declaration of Independence. Somebody gonna be Queen Mother Moore, somebody gonna be Darby Picard, somebody gonna be Papa Wells, so forth, so on. People who actually signed it. So it's gonna be a reenactment of the historical event. And after that, the enactment of that, we're gonna do a presentation by Baba Blasphemy Elite, who's a new African griot, a new African musician, who's actually a member of G.F. Scott Heron Band. He also was a political prisoner of the Black Panther, as well as a new African country African citizen. It's gonna be entitled Whitehall, the Alabama Project History, right? Gonna be talking about the independent nation, independent city and civilization nation state that Imam Jimmy Al-Amin were working on building, before he got incarcerated. And also gonna be updates about Imam Jimmy Action Network. About the last one is all part Imam Jimmy Action Network. And after that, we got update and message from the African movement. That entails different formation. The New African Independent, like people from different people representation. Like people represent, you got people older than Napo, people represent MNGM, Macklin Gravel, people gonna represent New African Scouts, people gonna represent August 3rd Collective, people gonna represent New African Revolutionary Nationalists, people gonna represent New African Communists, people gonna represent Rebuild Collective, people gonna represent different formations, New African Independent Movement, in regard to what they want to present and why they want to present it in regard to information. And after that, which is gonna be probably after like 12:45. After that, we'll have a session called New African and Cyber World. It's gonna be presented by the Minister of Interior. They're gonna be talking about security in regard to the internet, the influence of social media, the propagation of social media, and so forth, so on. Then after that, we're gonna go to lunch at 2:00, 3 o'clock. We're gonna go to lunch. After lunch, we're gonna have a self-criticism section in regards to what are some of the part of criticism on the Affirmation Day, what we did part of criticism. Then after that, we have self-criticism, what we could did better, and whether self-criticism brought ourselves and other individuals. Then after that, we're gonna have the action item for the New Affirmation Day the next year, 55. Then end on New Affirmation Day, and then we end it with a new African oath. And they're basically attentive schedule right now, how it's looking. We still working on that. We still working on that New Affirmation. Maybe we still working on that. Getting everything into.
Well, I gotta tell you, brother Bumani, I just appreciate all of the things you guys are doing, and just looking on the website. And we're gonna put all of the links in the description, and just what you've listed. I mean, the political education that you guys are giving that is so necessary, and just in so many spaces, from art to entertainment to also just like, as you mentioned, you guys are going to have a chance to have a criticism process. I think those are all necessary things. I encourage other people to go too, because again, like I'm sure people just listening to you, they just like, okay, it's just going to be that. I mean, and even the stuff like the training, I think, combat training, that's also necessary, as we know, living in this colonized country like this. So, I mean, just all of the work that is necessary. Maybe you can talk about why you, as you mentioned, like political education, ideological understanding of history, why is that so important with the work you're doing? And why do you think people are so confused because of the lack of that?
Oh, okay. Well, the first thing we got to realize that we don't control a lot of the propaganda, especially when it comes to the computer, social media, the TV, movies, music. We don't control a lot of their propagation. Okay. So by the enemy controlling a lot of their propagation and propaganda, they keep us in a state that we are actually diffused, and that state that they don't want us to unify. So the significant importance about that, by learning your history, learning about your culture, learning about political ideology, to understand that everything we do is political. Everything we do is political. You know what I'm saying? Like for instance, when our people are brought up and doing 16, 19, you want to say, or even 15, 26, whatever you want to say, look at it as, we came over here as political property. We came over as a political slave. Human chattel slave, human chattel property. Everything politically. We came over as a political capital to establish a nation that was subjugated and created upon the aspect of slavery, oppression, and repression, and the acts of political power. Or you want to say white political power, white supremacy. That's how everything was established. And by knowing these particular histories and knowing the particular aspects of how we defend, we can be able to defend ourselves physically, be able to defend ourselves politically, be able to defend ourselves legally, be able to defend ourselves economically, be able to defend ourselves historically in other ways, because you look at it, we're attacked on all them levels. We're attacked in food because they don't want to own our own food. You know, that's why the food in the store is so high. We're on a food war. So it'd be good that we practice our own cooperative economics, our Ujamaa, a new African Ujamaa, and develop our own community gardens in our community. If able to do so, develop a farm and deal in agriculture. You know, those are things that are really important in regards to our progress. Because whoever controls the food controls the people. You know, this is war. You know, that's a reason to do certain things. Also, like, you look at things historically, way in regard in our story as our people, it wasn't no place in our civilization, civilization that we had prisons. But now you look at the prison aspect, that's just a continuation of the so-called 13th Amendment and the so-called abolish slavery. It's a continuation of that in a modern day sense to make slavery legal. So now, one of the biggest business in the world is mass incarceration, which affects everybody. It doesn't matter who you talk to. You can talk to any African or new African person in American empire, even in empire, right? It's gonna be somebody they know or somebody who they know that knows somebody that's incarcerated. You know, so when you look at those particular statistics, it really messed up because you know that's the biggest business in the world. And all these imperialist companies and capitalist companies invest into it. You even have a lot of private prisons in different states. You know what I'm saying? That people are sponsoring and getting paid for. And in every state, getting paid for the free slave labor. A lot, like in the South, there's a lot of free slave labor. But now they don't start doing like giving people a couple of little pennies and cents and whatever, you know. But before that, it was everything for free. They when you out there digging ditches and building buildings and washing cars or picking up trash, whatever. They were all of them for free. Now it wasn't until recently they started giving you a couple of pennies, you know what I'm saying, for the so-called slave labor. And that goes back to the time during the 1800s when they had the convict release system, where you might be in prison in New York, they might say you to California to work, but you're in prison. You know, they go back to that same system that they were doing back then, which is a continuation of the same human chattel slavery and the political slave that we actually endured when we first came over here and changed the shackles as property, you know, have no rights. And they still want to continue not to have no particular rights, right? So basically, the important political education is to liberate you. Education is meant to liberate you, not just liberate you physically, but liberate you mentally. Because you must first begin in your mind in regards to that you want to be free. You want to be free in your mind. And some of the way we want to free ourselves in our mind is by adopting and accepting different names other than European names. Myself a Yoruba names, myself, you know what I'm saying, Swahili names, Zulu names, you know what I'm saying, Akan names, you know what I'm saying, Arabic names, you know what I'm saying, Ifa, Yoruba names, you know what I'm saying, Hausa names. We've been set up various names in order to free and liberate ourselves, give ourselves a particular purpose. Everything has an attribute to it. Attributes give purpose, meaning, and you know what I'm saying, and show a different form of love, a different form of appreciation, a different form of pride in regards to your culture and who you are, but different names. That's a form of liberation within your own mind. You know, and their freedom started freeing your own dome, freeing your own mind away from ignorance to what's going on. And we've been deceived by those aspects for a long time. We continue to be deceived every day, especially the American academic system. The American academic system, academia, it doesn't teach anything about ourselves.
Oh,
it's
of course.
It's going to teach you, we want you to learn about Plato, what Plato did, or what Abraham Lincoln did, or what Shakespeare did, or what are all these Greek philosophers, Aristotle, Empedocles, and what all these Roman philosophers, you know what I'm saying?
They went to the schools in Africa. That's what they did. They went to the schools and the universities in Africa and appropriated.
Yeah, you already know. You know what I'm saying? But they're not gonna tell us that.
Right.
They're not gonna tell us that they went to all these African institutions. That they're gonna make it seem like their education is superior. So you gotta listen to what they're saying. The Greek philosophy say it isn't right. The classical religion, the classical mythology didn't say it. The Greek mythology is not right. Everything else doesn't exist. You know, and neither time through their learning or they're teaching us how to save money. They're teaching us they're not teaching us how to buy land. They're teaching us how to farm. They're teaching us how to fish. They're not teaching us any kind of self-defense. They're not teaching us any kind of legal aspect. They're not teaching anything they're going to actually liberate us. The only thing they're teaching us is how to be a consumer and how to be a greater form of human capital that's going to benefit a particular system. And that leaves a brother or sister out there oblivious, not having no purpose, no name, no role, no position in life. Like right up and said, we the invisible man, or also the invisible woman. That how it leave us out there, leave us stranded. So the political education is needed to free us, to educate us, to liberate us, to give us some kind of purpose, meaning, you know, to give us a better pride within ourselves, a better love within ourselves, to show us what self-determination really means. Naturally, by being African people or African descent, you African people, we understand and relate to that. We are people of nature, or what they refer to as metaneta. We are people of nature. We are people of high spirit. We're people of high spirituality. We're people that incline to. We're people that naturally spiritually inclined to certain things. So by being so, we naturally liberate in our world. So there's no room for us to be in China shackles, incarcerated, in prison. There's no room for that. You know, because the more we look at our story in Africa, you know, in the motherland, it was abundant everything. It was abundance of gold, abundant of minerals, abundant of land, abundant of resources, abundant of plants, vegetables, fruit, animals, and everything, right? Well, one night in the captivity, it wasn't no zoos in Africa. It wasn't no zoos over there. It wasn't no retirement homes, no prison. There wasn't nothing that going on. We were liberated. We were free. That was our natural course of things, to be liberated. Especially in the culture of Kenya, they actually profess that Mount Kilimanjaro and the nation of Kenya was for the people. So it was ordained them by the people, ordained them by the Creator. So it wasn't nowhere in their mind that they're gonna let the British take anything from them. That's why they established the Mama, the Land and Freedom Army. That's what they believed in. Land, the base of independence, which we believe in now. Land, the base of independence. Even from the Pan-African perspective, it's all about land. It's all about land and independence. It's all about nationhood. That's what matters. That's what matters the most. What are we doing to accomplish these goals? What are you doing in the individual to accomplish your goals in the individual? What are you doing in your individual family? Are you educating people in your family? Are you showing people in your family certain skills and talent that you have, or even awakening up in certain individuals in your family? Are you supporting the efforts of people in your family? So you have people in your family might want to be a historian. Are you supporting that? Are you supporting the person who want to be an artist? Are you supporting people who want to learn about solar panels? Are you supporting people want to be an agriculturist? Are you supporting anything after the people in your family or your community? Those are the things we need to be focused on, or we continue to blame the oppressor for our conditions. I continue to blame the white man for our conditions, knowing we had the power to create our own reality, knowing we had the power to save ourselves. What are we going to do in regard to those situations? Those are some of the things that are discussed in regards to political education, in regards to educating the history class. Those are some things discussed. Like, who are we? Why are we here? How did we land? How did we get here? So what are we gonna do while we're here? We got different reasons. Are we gonna build our own nation while we're here? Are we gonna go back to Africa while we're here? Or are we gonna assimilate to the system while we're here? Those are some of the choices that we gotta think about. We're gonna assimilate to the system and be Americans? Are we gonna gain our own independence, develop our own nationality and be Africans? Are we gonna go back to Africa and be Africans? Are we gonna go to another country or another place and establish our own civilization, like somewhere in Brazil, somewhere Colombo or something? What are we gonna do? We have very choice before us. What are we gonna do? If we choose the lesser choice, which is to assimilate, we don't have no direction, anything. But now we are the ones being decided upon. We listen to the ones who make decisions for us. We're not making our own decisions. We're not being men and women for real. We just basically children that we got somebody else making a decision for us. Oh, we want you to be American, so you got to follow the United States Constitution. Where you're a citizen of New York, where you're a citizen of California, where you're a citizen of Georgia, where you're a citizen of Alabama. So now we follow particular rules, not knowing. Okay, you got to go to our school and learn about what Plato said. Plato is your daddy. Queen Elizabeth, your mother. The things you got to learn. We're not learning anything about our people. We're not learning any kind of substance. We're not gaining any kind of power. By being in that system, you're developing low self-esteem. You're being victimized by capitalism. You've been attacked. You becoming a criminal. You want to sell a drug. You want to smoke drugs. You going to prison. You want to commit crimes. You know what I'm saying? You dirty. You know what I'm saying? You don't want to clean yourself up. You want to clean yourself mentally or physically up. That will happen when you're in a particular system. But once you started realize what independence is, you know what I'm saying? You become cleaned up. You change your mentality from a criminal mentality to a revolution mentality, the new African mentality. You don't want to go to prison. You become very intelligent, articulate. You're able to read and pronounce certain things. You probably done learn some martial arts. You speak various languages now. You're successful in your community. You understand the aspect of agriculture. You understand the aspect of self-defense. You know what I'm saying? You know your history, your culture. You have a very profound mind state. Those are some of the benefits of doing for yourself. Like I know a lot of times say doing for yourself. Those are some of the benefits of political education. It goes a long way. It's more free and liberating than anything else in this world. Anything. Everything you do is political. Everything you do is political. Everything got politics behind it. Everything. It doesn't matter what it is. It matters religion.
So what do you say to? Yeah, because I'm all on what you're saying, and I think what you're saying is necessary to be said. Having these conversations with friends and family can be challenging, as you know, as a revolutionary, and you're talking about these topics because people don't want to really do the work of really looking at themselves and seeing what the material conditions have allowed us to be in. So how do you deal with folks that say, who can recognize with these structural problems, who can recognize that capitalism is the enemy and all this other stuff, but then when it comes to unifying in an organization or doing some collective work, their refrain is, oh, well, people ain't going to do that. People not going to get together. Like there's a lot of pessimism, and I'm not speaking of Afro-pessimism, but just like disallowing or not really trusting in the fate of our people, that we are just too unorganized and we're just too burdened by capitalism to ever gather on any one thing, and that we're in some way doing the opposite of what the enemy is doing. Like we're as dogmatic as the enemy. Like I've heard people say, oh, you're just as dogmatic as the enemy. You're coming from the enemy's perspective, but just from your angle. Like how will you answer those type of criticisms that arise?
Well, what I realized throughout my years is that our people are more the show and improve type. The way our mindset is set up and established within the empire is that we believe everything the oppressor said. We believe everything on face value. But if we saying coming from a country perspective and saying the same as that thing, our people are not gonna believe it. They're gonna think it's not gonna form manipulation, it's not gonna fraud, or you trying to get over. So what we gotta do when we talk about doing a certain thing, we gotta do it and show them and prove. Like if we talking about creating a community garden, we gotta go and create it. You gotta go ahead and do that. Once you do that, create a community garden, then people can see it now. This is real now. It's something we can touch. It's tangible. Okay, that's how you gotta deal with our people. We gotta actually do things. We just can't. Our people not gonna believe the rhetoric. They're not gonna believe the talk. You know what I'm saying? But they're gonna believe the talk that the oppressor give them because that's the way they make conditioning program. But when we say things, we automatically talk the condition to go against each other. If we're not a white figure like instance, you know, if we don't look like, if God doesn't look like Jesus, it's not right. If the Queen doesn't look like Queen Elizabeth, it's not right. You know what I'm saying? If the sugar is not white, it's not right. If the angel food cake is not white, it's not right. Things like that. We look at those particular conditions, look at those particular standpoints in regards to our world. We are taught to hate each other. We are taught to be against each other. So our point now is that you got to show each other that we actually accomplish things. If we're not showing each other this, we're not gonna be no asset to each other if we're not even able to produce. It's about our productivity. You know what I'm saying? Productivity that's tangible. If we talking about food, if you're not showing people how to plant food, showing people how to obtain seeds, they're not gonna believe us. You got showing people how to ask for how to break down guns and other aspects of how to physical train. They're not gonna believe us. So we are people that deal with show and improve. That's how you fade with some condition. And also, you got to be able to, like, if you talk to a person in the community that's selling dope, okay, and you go talk with them, and you're not presenting them with something that's tangible and showing them how things can be successful, they're not gonna believe it. You're not gonna have any kind of effect. Like, you go to a person selling dope and you talking about economics, about cooperative economics, and yeah, man, you can get your dope money, we can invest into the business, then it can be an aspect. The individual invests into it and see benefit from it, then they can see that they actually can change. You can slowly pull them away from their particular criminal mentality to something positive, and then they're the asset to the people. So we gotta deal with our people in a way that we actually gotta show them certain things. We actually gotta be the message that we bring. We just can't be talking. We gotta be the message. We gotta show and prove it. That's the only way our people gonna believe or accept what we doing. We gotta show and prove to them exactly what's going on. You got to get them something that they can actually touch and feel and see on a realistic standpoint to a level that to the point they feel like being reality. And also, it's another standpoint that you also got to deal with the people that have a like mind that you have. Everybody doesn't have a like mind. But by focus on the people that don't accept what you accept, you're not gonna get anywhere. But the best routine is to deal with and work with people who you can work with. Who you work, they're the people you work with. You work with them the best people you can work with, and don't even think about the people that you can't work with. That's how you attain more things quicker and faster in a more relative way. How you make it, how you accomplish certain things. But it doesn't mean that those people don't exist. Because those are some of the reasons. They are the reason why you're doing what you're doing. But you got to accomplish something first so they can see that. Then it might be swayed or influenced to get involved because, damn, I see it now. So I thought they were playing, but it's for real. They actually bought 200 acres of land. Man, I might have to go out there and help them. Know what I'm saying? I have skills in Africa. I have skills and build a solar panel. I might need some energy out there. I might need to go and build a solar panel. Or I had skills, you know what I'm saying, and livestock. I might be, you know what I'm saying, to get these livestock together. I might have skills in building houses and skills in plumbing and skills in building. So I need to go out there and build something. Our people got to be able to see certain things. That's how we get the attention. They got to be able to see.
So yeah, I think that's an excellent answer.
When it comes to us.
Yeah, no, I think that's an excellent answer because it reaffirms the whole practice and theory, like practice with theory. You can't just be talking, you got to do it. And then, yeah, when people see that motion, it is inspiring because it then kind of makes real that that's the action that's necessary. We got to make that motion because we got to save ourselves. It's not coming from the enemy. The enemy's not going to give us that education. So appreciate that.
Yeah. What I would say too, I know you're talking about political education and talk about certain things in our society that wasn't there in like pre-colonial Africa. How do you balance that out, not only at the event or like any political education work y'all do with some of the contradictions that may existed in pre-colonial Africa too? Because I think sometimes some people just feel like there were no flaws in pre-colonial Africa before imperialism, Western imperialism, invaded in Africa and the transatlantic slave trade, or the Mayafa, as those people will call it. How do you go about that and giving a balanced view of Africa, essentially, when doing like some political education work in relation to like gender oppression or anything of that nature?
Well, it's all dependent what type of political education you're doing. Because we look at it now as being New African, right? We're looking at the condition. We're looking at the condition of New African people. Now, if you're going from a historical perspective, then we focus upon the aspect of colonialism, domestic colonialism, and various aspects of people being attacked in the motherland, right? Then that's a different perspective. That's a different perspective in regards to what we're talking about. So, in all the particular courses in education, we actually gonna see the good and bad out of everything. You know what I'm saying? Things we could have did better, things that happened that basically were detrimental to our health, detrimental to our survival. you start seeing things from different perspectives. So it's all depending on what type of political education that you are obtaining. Like if we talking about mass incarceration, you know, so we're gonna understand that we got to go into certain legal jargon, where we got to discuss certain things that happen in the prison, certain organization institutes develop in prison, certain events that influence the outside world. So like I said, it's all depending on what type of political education are you talking about in particular, and why we actually doing it, what the actual focus is at that particular time. You know, then it's always gonna be a form of people, it's always gonna be a form of criticism, self-criticism. That's all gonna take place. It's gonna need to take place anyway, even if people are not talking about it. Somebody's gonna have to be encouraged to actually present that, so we get a better understanding from an analytical perspective, from a dialect perspective, and go to what's the origin of this? How did it happen? How did it occur? Why did it occur? You know what I'm saying? What are some of the reasons for this? And what are some of the solutions for it? So it's all depending on what we actually talking about in particular and how we're gonna reach that particular goal or reach that particular standpoint which we want people to actually gain from the particular course, a particular class, or particular assignment, or particular lecture, whatever it may be, right? That's all depending on what the subject line is, what the area of interest is, and what's the goal behind the area of interest, and what you put out to accomplish. Talking about that. That's all depends. It's all depends, you know. So you come historical, we come from the historical standpoint to how we got here, then we're gonna have to discuss that all. We have to discuss all. We have to discuss the good and the bad. We discuss the myths. We discuss the fact, the reality. We gotta come to understand all that. You know, like damn, what does this mean? Why does this mean this? You know, why did this happen? Why do people believe this when it's not true? You know, we gotta discuss all that when you come to the particular standpoint. And then I'll go back to what in particular the subject line is. You might be talking about military resistance, physical resistance, you know what I'm saying? We might be talking about that armed resistance. Or we might be talking about how to approach land from a legal perspective. Right, talking about how to have a cultural revolution in regard to everything dealing with land. Everybody who don't have some kind of land revolution in regard to a particular movement. Everybody who don't fought from a spiritual perspective, you know. So it's all depends on what's going on in particular. What's the reason there?
Just a side question. I know we talked about this earlier in relation to the map of the Republic of New Africa. Some people may ask, just for the audience, I'm just going to ask the question again, but some people may ask, why is Florida left out in that map? If you can kind of reiterate that point just to the audience and the viewers.
Well, you know, the first thing is that when the Provisional Government was established in March 31st, 1968, right? It was actually drawn out that a lot of people came from the aspect. A lot of people. It was an ideology floating around at that time in the 30s and 40s called the Black Belt Thesis. And the Black Belt Thesis was something that Harry Haywood and other people from the Communist Party USA were talking about. You know, in regard to this particular thesis, they were talking about how we can utilize the fertile land of the South in regard to building a nation. How we get further land in the South in regard to giving it independence, giving it liberation, so forth and so on, right? So we take it in consideration in regard to some of the people who were some of the founders. A lot of them came from like Queen Mother Moore. Queen Mother Moore was a communist at a particular time of her life, you know. And also a lot of people that were during that time came up from different politics in regard to Revolution Black nationally during the early 60s. They came through a lot of communist and social ideology and particular beliefs. Like a lot of the founders of the Provisional Government came from Ram. Mainly like Queen Mother Moore, Barbara Herman Ferguson, Mama Elihu Ferguson, Baba Mario Daly, Baba Gotti Abadeli, Dr. Muhammad Ahmad, aka Maxwell Stanford. You know, all these people came from Ram, you know, and a few other people, you know, they came from Ram. And those are the people who actually was into what you want to term concepts of some people want to term it in Marxism, Maoism, and communism, and science social and other aspects. They were in tune to a lot of those principles, right? And the aspect of that, you know, like I said, the Black Belt Thesis were actually had been rejected long ago by the Communist Party, who moved to a different aspect of being. So later on, the Black Communist Party was talking about certain things. That we understood the value of the land in the South. We understand the value of that. And also that when you look at those 5 states, you'll see that they're rich in resources. That they all attached to some kind of river base, which is for transportation, as well as on trade, travel, and other things. Which go back to a lot of things in antiquity in regard to how certain African countries was subject was situated on certain river masses in regard to do certain things to make things more suitable for the people, and also a lot of the places like Georgia, South Carolina, where a lot of the slaves are coming from. Okay, a lot of slavery coming from that particular place is slave labor, and by gaining control of those particular places, we gain control of the place in which we came to. You know what I'm saying? We return to the place we came from and take control of the place we actually built up. We actually built all this up, especially when we go to the 13 colonies. We built all this, 13 colonies. We built everything up financially, and being the property, as well as, you know what I'm saying, not just being the property, being the ones who actually built the stuff up at property, you know what I'm saying, as a legal form of slavery, as a legal form of commodity, as a human capital. So we had dual functions. We had function as a human capital, and we function as the architects and builders of the society that we term America right now. So it was more about liberating the people and the place and the location in which we were subjected to during these particular so-called Negro slave, black slave, whatever you want to call it, right? You know, then also obtain the resources where all them places that are more richer for agriculture. They're more richer for land mass. You know, they're more rich for livestock. They're more richer for being able to have space and opportunity to actually build things up on. So that's why those particular places, Georgia, South Carolina, Louisiana, Alabama, Mississippi, were actually chosen for all those reasons above that I just mentioned. You know, they were chosen for those particular reasons. Then also you got to look more deeply into like the subjugation in regards to who owned what during what particular time. You know, like certain places in America were owned by different European certain people. Where the 13 colonies were owned by a lot of the English people, a lot of the English people that actually were pushing for trying to establish a different nation outside of England. That's why they call certain things New England, New Hampshire. All these places were named after England, you know. And what we call us a New African people due to the fact that we are a mixture of European, we're a mixture of Native American, mixture of so forth and so on, due to the aspect of rape, sex breeding, slavery, so forth and so on, you know, in regard to our genetics. And we developed into a new African people because we were no longer the original Wula, no longer the Zulu, no longer the Mandinka, we're no longer these people where we came from, because due to genetics and due to, you know what I'm saying, other things, atrocities and adversities that are faced us, we developed a new type of people, but we still had that spirit of resistance within us that we wanted to be free. So we fought for it, and we still fight for it. We've been fighting for it since we've been here. We still fighting for it, you know. And something got to give in regards to the situation, you know. And we got models for it now, like the Gila Gucci Nation. That's a model for independence. Or OT African Village. That's a model for independence. The Washington Nation still a model for independence. Even in 2006, 2007, we had the Ujima Village in Miami, which was an independent village function for six months. They were founded by the homeless people who fought the government. You know, it's on us to do what we need to do to make things to a better perspective. And also understand that how important it is for us to be independent. And independent, when you look at independent, you think about you're separate from a system of oppression. So you're a separatist. You know what I'm saying? Without any kind of doubt. You control your own hospitals, your own clinics. You know, you control your own grocery stores, your own food supply. And you control your own electricity, your own water supply. You control your own housing environment, your own living quarter. You controlling all of this. You controlling your own education system. You know, even if we do have some kind of legal system, we control in regard to incarceration, we control no aspect to as well. Because we're going to have some kind of legal system in order to punish people for certain things, because just because we got something built, that doesn't mean that the mentality that was projected upon is gone. We got to rid ourselves of that mentality. And they go through a process. It will take years, decades. It was a re-Africanization process. they're gonna take a minute to gain through that particular process. So, those are some of the things we faced with and we got to deal with in regard to once we obtain what we push to attain. Once we obtain it, we go ahead and maintain it, and they're gonna be the difficult part. They're gonna be really difficult part once we obtain it. But a lot of times we think about it. When people accomplish everything, they get lenient. You know what I'm saying? They're not serious. They're not real serious anymore because y'all don't obtain it. It ain't nothing. It's easy. And once we obtain the independence, that's when the real work gonna come in. How are we actually gonna keep it up? What are we gonna do? What are we gonna do to make it advance? What are we gonna do to keep it? What are we gonna do and to pass it on to the generation 30, 40 years later on? Those are some of the things we have to think about in regards to our conditions.
Right. Well, especially because I think a lot of people feel like there's going to be a point where we're all going to arrive at this space. Like even when we arrive at this one united socialist of Africa, there's still going to be struggle. Like struggle is not going to stop. We got to have to continue on politically educating ourselves, just highlighting that point on everything being political. That means there's no facet of society, no facet of our lives where we're not influenced by our ideology. So having that consistent ideology is just so important because, as mentioned, these structures are only getting more clever in how they distract us and influence us to think like the enemy. I think, without that constant political education, without being connected to that reason, it's just easy to be fooled. As you mentioned, the system just takes away our dignity. We don't have dignity, a lot of us, because we feel incapable of actually grasping and kind of tapping into who we are as a people and the examples that have been left by our ancestors. So, I mean, it's a real war we're in. Every day I'm realizing that. Like, that's why it's a pleasure to talk to you and just learn more about what this organization is doing, because there's not a lot of work. People think that there's not a lot of work, but then you talk to brothers like yourself and you read up on organizations that have been doing the work, and that call of action is just continually made. Like, what are you doing for your people? What can we do for our people, knowing that we're being attacked daily by this system?
True indeed, man. True indeed, man. It's all about the effort, man. It's all about the effort.
Yeah.
So I guess as we wrapping up, if you just want to comment on how people could donate or help with the event, how people can attend outside of just going to Alabama, they can attend virtually. Yeah, if you just elaborate on that, and then we can wrap up.
We actually have a flyer that's floating around, and the flyer has an Eventbrite on it. The Eventbrite is www.eventbrite.com/E/African-Nation-Day-Tickets. They got a number 1900217496167. Upon going on this Eventbrite website, you actually can register for the physical event and get your tickets for New African Nation that wasn't in Goma. And you also can register and get your ticket for the Zoom program to be able to participate in New African Nation Day via Zoom if you're not be able to participate physically. So those are the ways you can do it. And also, say if you want to donate, you can go to the website, which is www.pg-RNA.com. You can make a donation. You don't want to donate something. There's a donate button on there. And there's also, you can also message those saying queries. You want to send like a mail or a check, and we'll send the information in regard to how you can send it to the treasurer. So there's various ways to go about certain things. Also, you want to get information, learn more about how you can attend. You can go into our social media, Facebook, Republic of New Afrika. You go on our Twitter, which is Provisional Republic of Africa, or you go on Instagram, which is PG.Republic of New Afrika to get the information. Or you can go to my social media, which is on Facebook, which is Bumani, you hear what you had, Shakir. Or you also can contact some of our other affiliates on Facebook, which is Georgia University. Also, people that are affiliated with is New African Independent Movement Facebook page. Or you can go to New African Information Facebook page, which is a like page. So there are various ways you can get to us in regards to obtaining your tickets, be it a physical ticket or be it a Zoom appearance. So there are various ways you can go about doing so and getting in touch with us also as well. Those are some of the ways.
All right, thank you, man. We appreciate you joining. Look forward to the event. I know I'm be attending. I probably won't be able to go physically, but I'm definitely tapped into the Zoom. Hopefully, you guys are joining too. Those are watching. So yeah, do you have any last words or last things you want to add before we get up out of here?
Well, the only thing I want to say, man, is you struggle for land and independence, man. Free the land, man. And let's do the work. That's it.
Yeah,
and organize collectively.
Organize
together. Join an organization or start one if you don't have one in your area, and let's commit to the struggle to advance our.
And before we jump on out of here, I just want to do a quick plug-in on some of our other podcasts that we have. So we have the Forward Ever podcast for our comrades on who are on Spotify. The links will also be in the description, just as the link for the event is also going to be in the description, as I stated earlier. We also have our New Mexico chapter that they do their broadcasting every Thursday. We also have Revolutionary African Women. We also have our ancestors' voices as well. And then also, I think the Forward Ever podcast just came back out. I know they were on a little hiatus. They just have an episode on Mali, so definitely check them out. Check all of them out, but that one in particular. We also have our Forward Ever shop. So definitely, if you're looking for African merch to cop, hoodies, shirts, anything, revolutionary slogans and all that, definitely feel free to support. We have the link in the description for that as well. And once again, we appreciate you guys tuning in for whatever, and catch you guys next time.
For whatever.
Free the land.
Free the land.
Right, I mean, that's sir.